Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the election coverage on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Celebrations erupted in the BJP camp at around 11 this morning when trends started becoming clear in both Haryana and Maharashtra. The BJP has crossed the halfway mark in Haryana and will form the next government in the state. But things are a little more complicated in Maharashtra. The BJP has emerged as the single largest party but is well short of the magic figure of 145. Back channel talks have already begun. Before we get you all the details, here are the latest headlines. Celebrations in the BJP camp as trends indicate Haryana going with the party. In Maharashtra, the BJP is likely to be the biggest party, but it will need help to reach the halfway mark. Maharashtra BJP reaches out to Shiv Sena. BJP President Amit Shah says his party did not break the alliance. BJP surge in Haryana with trends indicating a clear vote for change. State leaders call it a rejection of dynasty politics. And a rout for the Congress and the NCP in Maharashtra and the ruling Congress in Haryana. Congress at the third spot in both states. Well, Chief Election Commissioner V.S. Sampath has expressed satisfaction at completion of free and fair elections in Haryana and Maharashtra. The CEC said that there were virtually no incidents of booth capturing and tension reported in the two states, enabling peace completion of the poll process. Sampath also expressed satisfaction at the rise in voter turnout in urban areas in these elections, calling it a sign of improving democratic health. Turnout in urban areas of Maharashtra and Haryana showed a marked improvement in these elections.
In a hotly contested election, this kind of complaints come. For example, as far as I can recall, there was not a single complaint in Maharashtra of this nature, while there were a few complaints in Haryana. In fact, on the day of the poll, we had deployed special teams of people to keep watching the media, particularly local television channels. Whatever complaints were voiced through the channels, because channels not only give the news, they also give visuals. Of course, in many of these cases, some of these could also be exaggerated, some of these could be genuine. So in all these cases, the Commission will have to act carefully and with caution. We are ourselves happy about the change we are able to bring about substantially in respect of urban voters. I would say that it is a pointer to the extent of our sweep measures succeeding in general and in urban areas in particular.
Well, it's the end of the road for the Congress and the NCP in Maharashtra. The Modi magic has worked in the state, at least partially. The BJP has emerged as the single largest party in the 288-member assembly, though well short of a majority. Reasons enough to celebrate as all competition lags well behind.
They started within an hour and a half of counting getting underway as initial trends indicated a big BJP sweep in Maharashtra. Though they may have tempered somewhat after it became clear the BJP would fall well short of a majority in the state assembly. As per figures of trends and results at 3 p.m. out of a total of 288 seats, the incumbent Congress has been reduced to 44 seats, down 38. The BJP has climbed to 118, a gain of 70 seats. Shiv Sena has leads or wins in 60 seats, a gain of 16 seats. The NCP is also down 19 seats and has a lead or wins in 43 seats. Others have 23 seats. The BJP and Shiv Sena firmly in the driver's seat. Congress and NCP bite the dust, pushed deep into third and fourth spot.
भारतीय जनता पक्षाबद्दल आणि नरेंद्र मोदीचा जे विकासचं विजन आहे त्याबद्दल जनतेने विश्वास व्यक्त केला आहे. आम्ही भारतीय जनता पक्षातर्फे महाराष्ट्राच्या जनतेचा आभार मानतो, धन्यवाद देतो.
A chorus of BJP leaders lauded the party's approach to the elections in Maharashtra and shortcomings of more than a decade of Congress-NCP rule.
बीजेपी कार्यकर्ता बहुत मेहनत करके एक बहुत ही बलबूते से मगर भ्रष्ट सरकार जो था महाराष्ट्र में उसको हटाए, जनता उनको समर्थन दे. इसके लिए हम महाराष्ट्र जनता को बधाई देना चाहिए.
जो विषय पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड के अंतर्गत हैं उस पर विचार विमर्श करके फैसला लेने का अधिकार उनका है. मैं मात्र कार्यकर्ता की भूमिका निभाते हुए अपनी लीडरशिप को और हमारे सभी सहयोगियों को और कार्यकर्ताओं को मात्र धन्यवाद और बधाई देना चाहूँगी.
महाराष्ट्र और हरियाणा की जनता ने मोदी जी पे भरोसा किया है. स्वाभाविक नई भारत मुद्दा रहा, युवाओं की आकांक्षा मुद्दा रहा, महिलाओं की सुरक्षा मुद्दा रहा. मोदी जी के ऊपर भरोसा यही प्रमुख मुद्दा रहा.
केंद्र की सरकार ने 100 दिन में जो कुछ अच्छे काम किए उससे आशा की किरण जगी और लोगों ने जाति, क्षेत्र, अलगाववाद, भाषावाद इसको सबको नजरअंदाज करके विकास को महत्व दिया है.
The Congress and NCP, who'd ruled the state together for more than a decade and split just before elections, stand firmly shown the door. Amid a blame game, they speak of claimed good work having been drowned out by corruption and a flurry of scams. Massive introspection and the need for reinvention being the only way forward for the Congress party.
लोकतंत्र में जनता फैसला करती है. बहुत सारे कारण रहे होंगे और हैं जिनकी वजह से हम दोनों जगह हारे हैं. उन कारणों को हमें तलाश करना पड़ेगा, जनता के बीच जाना पड़ेगा. जनता के फैसले का हम सम्मान करते हैं.
ये सिद्ध हो गया इस चुनाव के बाद कि जो हमने कहा था एनसीपी ने कि 50-50% अगर हम लड़े होते साथ में तो बेहतर होता. हम अवश्य इस चुनाव का विश्लेषण करके कुछ सीखने की कोशिश करेंगे.
Back to the victors of the day. The numbers say the chief ministership stays firmly with the BJP. Devendra Fadnavis, the victor in Nagpur, is the likely candidate for the post. He has the green signal from the RSS. But that gap of 30-odd seats for a majority remains to be bridged yet, and that will dominate the Maharashtra political landscape for some time yet. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Joining me on the program right now is the Associate Editor of The Hindu, Smita Gupta. Smita, welcome to the show and thank you for joining us this evening. Before we analyze the political results that have come out, a word, on the CEC's the Election Commission's performance as far as these two elections are concerned. They ensured that, there were free and fair elections in both the states. No real incidents of violence or, booth capturing or anything of that sort. A commendable job there by the Election Commission, isn't it?
Yeah, I think over the years the election commissions has strengthened its own machinery, and you will notice that the kind of incidents that we would hear about, say 20 years back, about booth capturing, etc., that's a thing of the past. And equally important, I think, is the kind of emphasis they've given to getting out as many voters to the polling booth. It's not just left to the political parties. In Maharashtra, I know that between the Lok Sabha elections and these assembly elections, I think some 26 lakh additional voters were enrolled. So I think, and they've been running a campaign, their own campaign with hoardings and so on, which I've been noticing over the last few assembly and Lok Sabha elections, where you'll see EC hoardings. Asking, every voter, reminding them that it's their duty to cast their votes.
Indeed. Let's now talk about the numbers and let's focus on Maharashtra for the time being before we move on to Haryana. The BJP was looking for mission 144. That has not been accomplished, but nonetheless a great performance as far as the party is concerned. This is the first time that the party is contesting in all 288 seats and it has been a fine performance thus far.
Absolutely, and I think they took a huge gamble in contesting alone, and I think they've done well. Though, of course, given the results today, if they had gone along with the Shiv Sena, they would have probably touched 170, 180. But this puts them in the driver's seat, you know, they can call the shots. And I think perhaps that was also something they wish to achieve, given the kind of record the Shiv Sena has of sort of an eccentric political party,
Yes,
shall we say?
yes.
So right now, I think the BJP is in the driver's seat because it is, you know, the single largest by a huge margin.
So the tables have turned. The BJP is now the big brother in Maharashtra.
Absolutely.
Let's get a perspective. Let's get a perspective before I come back to you, Smita. Let's get a perspective from the ground in Maharashtra right now. Joining us is our correspondent Raj Kamal Rao. Raj, earlier in the day you gave us an update as to how the NCP has, gone all out to try and tell the BJP that they are going to, provide unconditional support to the BJP. But we also have several reports here in the media that talk of backdoor talks going on between the Shiv Sena and the BJP. The Shiv Sena went out on an all-out attack, spewing venom against the BJP over the last few days. But now it seems like the Shiv Sena too has softened its stance on the BJP.
Frank, now they all realize that they at least need 145 seats to form government in Maharashtra. So BJP alone cannot do that because results are in front of everyone, and Shiv Sena couldn't achieve what it was anticipating without BJP. So it was very clear for both these parties that they need each other. So that's the lesson for the day for these two parties. But NCP offering unconditional support is very significant because when I spoke to several party spokespersons, they wanted their power intact in Maharashtra because the party cadres have several business interests, especially in Marathwada region. The sugar lobby is largely under NCP's control, and the agricultural belt in Maharashtra is largely controlled by several NCP leaders. So it's very crucial for them to close to be in power. So that's why they have given this unconditional support. But for Shiv Sena, because it was an existential crisis, this election after Bala Thackeray's death, it's the first election where Shiv Sena is going and without support of BJP. So it has been a challenge for Uddhav Thackeray, and he took it on seriously. Even we have heard compliments from NCP Chief Sharad Pawar to Uddhav Thackeray. So all these indicate that everyone wants to be on the right side of the fence on the day of counting. So they all realize that if their parties have to be existing in Maharashtra for the next assembly elections, because Shiv Sena and BJP still have several municipal corporations in their hold. So it's quite likely that BJP may prefer Shiv Sena as their partner in government, but NCP is also throwing its hat because it suits them.
All right, thank you, Raj Kamal Rao, for joining us there with that input from Maharashtra. Smita, talking about battle for power and battle of dominance as far as the Thackerays are concerned, do you think that Uddhav Thackeray, with the results after today, has established himself as a true heir to Bal Thackeray's legacy?
Well, certainly he was hoping that his party would be number one. But he hasn't done too badly, having contested separately, given the kind of track record, given the fact that he's not that charismatic a leader. I think he fought a good election, and I mean, the MNS has been virtually wiped out.
Yes.
So to that extent, I think he has, that Sena constituency is his now. Now it is for him to sort of build on it.
He's been trying desperately hard over the last few months and last couple of years actually to try and portray his son and try and push his son to the forefront. That really hasn't worked too much, but nonetheless it seems to be going in the direction that he wants it to. But let's talk about the MNS now. You brought up the MNS and how it has been decimated in Maharashtra. What do you think has gone wrong really for Raj Thackeray in the state?
I don't know. I think that, you had four major parties, earlier you had two alliances, then you had four major parties. So I think people would also want stability. I don't think they wanted really to have such a fractured mandate. And given that there were the pulls and pressures of four political parties, I think the fifth one just got...
There was no space, there was no elbow room for another party is what Smita is saying. Let's now focus on Haryana, because a lot has happened in Haryana as well. Relatively smaller state than Maharashtra, but equally important nonetheless. Now, the principal opposition party of the state, the INLD, that had 31 MLAs in the House of 90, became the biggest loser in Haryana. This fact shows that the people of the state have had it with dynastic politics. They have decided to give the BJP a chance for the first time in this state. Well, there you have it, of course, the BJP doing extremely well in Haryana. They've secured 47 seats out of the 90-member assembly. And let's not forget, it was just the number stood at 4 in the 2009 assembly elections. The party has done tremendously well, and without really having a major leader or chief ministerial face in Haryana, the party securing 47 seats in that particular state.
Celebrations for the BJP in Haryana. But introspection for the Congress in a state that it had well within its grasp for nearly 10 years. Narendra Modi's charisma prevailed once again for the BJP to help it score on debut. The Saffron Party tested electoral waters on its own for the first time in the state when wrested power from the Congress. The verdict has given dynastic politics in the state a huge jolt. Big wigs of almost all parties lost. Early trends showed jailed INLD chief Om Prakash Chautala's family members are trailing on their seats. Chautala had appealed for votes, saying he would take oath as chief minister from the jail. For nearly 4 decades after its creation in 1966, Haryana politics was dominated by Devi Lal, Bansi Lal and Bhajan Lal. Chief ministers from the Bansi Lal dynasty led the state for almost 13 years. Members of the Bhajan Lal clan were in power for nearly 11 years. In the third place came the Chautalas, including Devi Lal, who were in power for 10.5 years. In fact, Bhupinder Singh Hooda seemed to be the only chief minister who did not come from a popular political family. The BJP's only strategy in Haryana seemed to revolve around Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his development pitch. In the end, that was all it needed. The party seemed to sense its big chance in the parliamentary elections itself when it won 7 of the state's 10 seats. The highest ever voter turnout also worked in its favour. The Congress ruled Haryana since 2005. In the final tally, it did not even manage the tag of being the main opposition party. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Our correspondent Vishal Daya joins us for more from Haryana. Well, there's much talk as far as the media circuit is concerned as to who the next Chief Minister of Haryana is going to be. Any indications there coming in from the BJP, Vishal?
Not yet, Frank. No indications from the BJP as far as who is going to lead the party in the state now that they have got a clear majority to form the government. But there are several claimants to the top post, including those who have joined the BJP just before the elections. One of them is Chaudhry Birendra Singh, whose wife has won elections from Uchana, an emphatic win against the sitting MP of Hisar, Dushyant Chautala, grandson of Om Prakash Chautala. It was a direct fight between the Chautala and Chaudhry Birendra Singh clan. So obviously, not only that victory, Chaudhry Birendra Singh seems to be, indirectly indicating that being the experienced one, the most experienced one, he should be given the responsibility. But in the end, the final decision will be taken by the parliamentary board of the BJP, and will also have, the Prime Minister and the party's national president will definitely also have a clear say in that. As of now, no clear indications as to who will lead the party. It seems that, a final word or maybe even an indication towards this might be coming only by tomorrow or day after.
Certainly, all do stay with us. Vishal, come back to you ahead in the show for another reaction. Let me now take that to our guest in our studio. Smita, I mean, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because no chief ministerial face as far as Haryana was concerned. They seem to have been riding on the Modi wave or Modi magic in Haryana, and it seems to have worked for the party in Haryana after winning just 4 seats in 2009, a complete turnaround this time around.
Well, I don't wish to undermine the result, but I think too much is being made of the Modi magic. I think if political parties really need to study this election, for the last 18 years or so in Haryana, there's been a Jat chief minister, whether it was Bansilal, whether it was Chautala, whether it was Bhupinder Singh Hooda. What the BJP actually did, and which all credit to it, was to consolidate the non-Jat vote. And therefore, Chaudhry Birender Singh, I have my serious doubts, is not going to be the next chief minister. It will be a non-Jat, because this was a consolidation of that non-Jat vote, which has given the BJP this tremendous victory, and the BJP's ability to bring in the Sacha Sauda,
yes.
Which also represents the OBCs and the Dalits.
Yes.
That is what has given it this huge victory, because for all these years, and as you could see, both the Congress and the INLD were chasing the Jat vote. So the Jat vote got split over there,
yes.
and the rest of the the other communities in the state felt excluded. They've been out of power. So one should not when you analyze it, that is the direction which you must look, and I think a chief minister, whoever is the chief minister,
right,
I'm pretty sure it will not be a Jat.
All right, that is something that we'll have to wait and watch. In the next 24 hours, we could get a clear picture as to who the leader of the party in Haryana might be, and he might be the chief minister of the state as well. It's not too far away. In the meantime, of course, our correspondent Shyam Sundar spoke to Central Minister Dharmendra Pradhan about the reasons for the BJP making handsome gains in Haryana. Let's listen in to what he had to say.
हमारे साथ केंद्रीय पेट्रोलियम मंत्री धर्मेंद्र प्रधान हैं। धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी, महाराष्ट्र पे पहले बात करते हैं। सिंगल लार्जेस्ट पार्टी बीजेपी बनी है, लेकिन बहुमत से थोड़ा दूर रह गई है। अब सवाल यह है कि किसके साथ गठबंधन होगा।
वो तो पार्टी की प्रदेश इकाई की नेतृत्व और पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड की जिम्मेवारी है। मैं बिल्कुल आत्मविश्वास के साथ कहता हूं, महाराष्ट्र की जनता ने बड़ी जवाबदेही दिया है हमारे ऊपर, बड़ी जिम्मेदारी सौंपी है। इसको हम पूरा करने में सफल होंगे, ये हमें पूरा आत्मविश्वास है।
और मुख्यमंत्री की अगर बात करें, क्योंकि कोएलिशन गवर्नमेंट होगी, तो जाहिर है कि एक एक्सपीरियंस्ड आदमी की ज़रूरत होगी।
देखिए, बीजेपी की ही मुख्यमंत्री होने वाला है, और कौन होगा इसको पार्टी की प्रदेश इकाई की नेतृत्व और पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड ही निर्णय करेगा।
हरियाणा में स्पष्ट बहुमत बीजेपी को मिला है, और पहली बार ऐसा हुआ कि जब सभी 90 सीटों पर पार्टी वहां लड़ी, और ख़ासतौर पर ग्रामीण अंचल में भी जिस तरह से वोट मिला है बीजेपी को, क्या कारण मानते हैं? मोदी लहर या पार्टी का संगठन भी वहां पर मौजूद हुआ?
देखिए, देश की राजनीति बदल चुकी है, देश की जनता आगे बढ़ना चाहती है, देश की जनता के अंदर नई प्रकार की उमंग उठी है, और उसके प्रतीक देश के प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी बने हैं। ये दोनों विषय एक है, देश की आकांक्षा की विजय है, नरेंद्र मोदी जी की नेतृत्व की विजय है।
हरियाणा में, दक्षिण हरियाणा और उत्तर हरियाणा में बड़ी सफलता बीजेपी को मिली है, और असमान विकास, क्षेत्रवाद विकास में ये भी एक बड़ा मुद्दा था हरियाणा में। तो क्या, और इस तरह की चर्चा है कि इस बार शायद दक्षिण हरियाणा से मुख्यमंत्री हो, ये सब फैक्टर्स रहेंगे जब आप तय करेंगे मुख्यमंत्री कौन होगा?
विजय को आप छोटा मत करिए। कांग्रेस के खिलाफ जबरदस्त नाराजगी थी, उसको आप दक्षिण उत्तर बिहार ये मत गिनिए। बहुत बड़ी विजय है, बहुत बड़ी जवाबदेही बीजेपी के ऊपर लोगों ने सौंपा है, उस पे हम खरा उतरेंगे।
Well, that's all the time we have on this edition of the Bulletin. I'd like to thank my guest right now, Smita Gupta. Thank you so much for joining us on the program and sharing your perspectives with us as far as the crucial polls in Maharashtra and Haryana are concerned. Thank you so much for watching. Do stay tuned for much more on the other side of this short break.